Okay, the seventh team that makes it to the finals of the Intel Global Challenge at UC Berkeley. The team from Bahrain, AXA.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Muhammad Anwar, and my heart is beating so fast because I'm excited. We're talking about my startup finally for this fine audience. All right, can you hear me at the back?
Something weird. Oh.
So this is like. All right, so Excel. But let me start with rendering, basically. The art of rendering. Rendering is the process to transform the binary raw digital information from the wireframes into the photorealistic images that you see in movies like Avatar and Madagascar. But in the case of Madagascar, it took 65 million compute hours to process this operation because it's totally computationally intensive. And it's not a problem for only just like big studios like DreamWorks and such. Once in a weekend, at late night, this student called Mariam called me at night and she told me that she has this assignment that she's having problems with rendering it. She had a typical laptop and it was taking 42 hours on her laptop to be completed. She was like, all right, Mohammed, I have a problem. I'll have this exhibition soon. I was like, et cetera, et cetera. I told her, okay, calm down. We have the solution for you. Her problem is that she's in the same position as DreamWorks or Pixar because relatively she doesn't have the financial, how should I say, expenditure to relieve the problem of having enough or adequate compute power. She doesn't have the enough financial to buy expensive machinery, expensive licenses, or to operate such compute power. And basically, she found herself in the same shoes as the big studios, and in a sense, she's having the speed bottleneck. That's why we exist as Exa.io, which is a supercomputing accelerated cloud rendering service where artists and engineers can simply upload their files to have it rendered at the fraction of the time, basically at 112 times faster at the fraction of the cost. So I told Miriam, just upload your file, specify how many machines you want, and in no time, she was like saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can already see the images being rendered in my browser. How did we inflict and invert her an anxiety to like just in a couple of minutes? Simply because we're using technologies, supercomputing technologies, accelerators, which are called graphics processing units, GPUs, and soon Intel Xeon Phis, which are 40 to 50 times faster than the typical processor, which are all the typical animation studios or engineers are using. And in addition to that, we're not just using fast machineries. We're making it very flexible and easy to use over the cloud. We're utilizing natively the cloud to have arbitrary scaling at the time we have jobs and to provide flexibility in our payment solutions. We also have added optimization to specific hardware and software to optimize the whole ecosystem for our customers. This is a comparison between the performance to cost value of a typical server processor, a typical Xeon, and a GPU or an accelerator. It just blows it out of the water. And we didn't just focus on the technical side. We're a business. And as a lean methodology practicing startup, we have a very clear customers market. We have a very clear, unique value proposition in providing maximum performance and maximum value. We have clear distribution channel, which is software as a service. And depending on the customer, we have pay-as-you-go or subscription-based model. And et cetera, for our other business model components. That's internally how we operate. Externally in the market, we operate in a $134 billion market. Okay, hold on for a second. This is a big number because it's an intersection of different markets. Basically, whatever you see, feel, and even eat is actually designed on a computer at a certain stage. Your car you're driving, the eyeglasses you're wearing, even Pringles, the potato chips you're eating, was once rendered on a machine. We're the only service provider in the MENA region, and we have a very healthy profit margin because we're a very frugal startup, and we are a cloud-based startup, so we don't actually own the big iron. Which brings us to a very favorable market position. In the top right corner, we have ultra supercomputers, and we're not honestly competing with those. Those are out of equation. It's like multi-million contracts by big studios. At the bottom corner here, we have the typical traditional solutions, the in-house and, how should I say, offline render farms. They're gonna vanish soon because they're so expensive and they don't provide how should I say, adequate compute power. Our real competition comes from the new age online render farms. But even those, they're not based on the tip or the new age, how should I say, or the cutting edge supercomputing technologies like faster interconnects or faster accelerators. So they might have some flexibility of being online, but they don't even compare for our performance. They say, don't be in a position where you bring a knife to a gunfight. In our case, we brought a tank. Sorry? Okay, about traction. We have, as I said, Mariam, the individual student and the freelancers. We have startups like Gairi in Spain and Reality Studio in Bahrain. And as you can see, we're focusing on studios in our, how should I say, marketing effort. Because as a startup, we have to have a laser focus on whom our customers are. So although I said that our market, our potential market could include many segments, but our marketing effort is laser focused on just TV and animation studios. This is the team behind the service. Aside of me building the back end, we have my friends Ibrahim Muqdad and Zakaria. Unfortunately, Zakaria is on the other side of the world in another competition. And we managed just a couple of weeks ago to steal from GE their black belt and Six Sigma marketing manager, Ziazan over there, to be our growth hacker. We have investment from Seed Startup, which is the Techstars chapter in Dubai, run by Mr. Roni Al-Nasher. He himself was a Silicon Valley entrepreneur. He sold his startup to Citrix. And we have from the media market, Mr. Tariq Amin, who runs 2 media production houses in the Middle East. But if there's, I'm going to finish now, but if there's one single idea I want you guys to fully comprehend, is a quote I got from Professor Jack Dongera of the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. It is, in this industry, whomever outcomputes, outcompetes. Thank you. Right, questions?
I have one. Oh, go ahead.
Just a clarification. Are you actually putting together farms of hardware?
Cloud-based farms on Amazon EC2. We have a partnership with them. We don't have the actual iron. It doesn't make sense as a startup, but we're building the ecosystem on their metal, yeah.
Sort of a similar question, I think. Just in terms of the supercomputer capability that you've built, is there long-term sustainable differentiation there? Meaning, have you created some algorithms that are the thing that accelerate the 3D rendering, or is it purely just the GPUs? And if yes, are they you've created the IP for the GPUs, or you're licensing somebody else's technology?
First of all, GPUs are insanely hard to build.
Yes,
so
I know.
definitely not the
I know.
GPUs.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand if it's algorithms that you're running, or what are you doing differently?
This is actually the first question we got from many investors, is that basically anybody could go and have such service on EC2. But the thing is that And I answered them back by a simple analogy is that everybody got access to metal, but not anybody could build a Toyota, all right? Our secret sauce is actually in building the whole ecosystem and make it very abstracted and easy to even students like Mariam just upload the file and tap into this supercomputing power in no time, just as easy as sending an attachment to Gmail. Taking care of the scaling of the cloud, taking care of managing the machines, taking care of if there's some sort of artistic problem that might come up and automatically resolving it. This is our secret sauce and the value we're providing here.
So is that secret sauce patented in some way, or is it patentable? First question. The second is, I mean, there are other companies that offer compute as a service, right? And you mentioned Amazon as an example. I'm not quite sure all the different capabilities that Amazon offers to service providers like you. But do they actually carve out a section of their data center to do compute-oriented tasks and versus other stuff that they do for the startups that want to do online businesses?
All right, answering your first question, honestly, we don't believe in patenting the idea because, as I said, we're now using GPUs and Intel is coming up with a new Xeon Phi accelerators who might be faster. So we reached an agreement with our investors is to focus on continuous innovation instead of securing something that might be deprecated in a couple of years. So that was our agreement. Answering your second question, Amazon is a public cloud. Anybody could use it. And I'm not aware if they have, like, how should I say, private segments of their data center to like specific solutions. But similar to our service, you might be familiar with Zencoder, which is a cloud video encoding, how should I say, startup. And a unique value proposition. They had it on cloud transcoder, which is exactly what Zencoder is doing. But with the time, it was proven that Zencoder would provide a better experience for their users, even better than Amazon, although they're using Amazon's infrastructure. So I do believe that's not just mimicking the idea, it's providing the whole experience, the whole tailored experience that have been built with the feedback from the actual, how should I say, users of the service. Amazon can't build everything. And in fact, they are interested in our service. That's why they give us more, how should I say, expanding, how should I say, allocation for their GPU machines because they thought it was an interesting idea and they loved it, instead of competing against us.
Right, so there's a company called Green Button that does this too.
Exactly.
Okay, so you run up against Green Button all the time? Or?
Green Button is a broker between the customer and the cloud service. They're in the same position as us actually.
Right.
And they don't have a clear, how should I say, cloud service. I believe they have some sort of scientific stuff and for oil and gas and also rendering. So I think our advantage is that we're focusing only on rendering segments. And that brings great insight because we can have tailored, or how should I say, geared toward just the artistic needs. Because there are so many aspects into having a very tailored service for rendering.
Right. So I mean, the quality of the rendered image is as much a function of the software itself, the rendering software.
Precisely.
I mean, back in the 80s, Pixar had the best rendering software,
RenderMan,
right?
yeah.
So do you provide rendering software of high quality? I mean, is that what you're doing, or is there something else you're doing?
We would shoot ourselves in the foot to provide something like this. In fact, a competitor of us who got acquired by Autodesk called Otoy, they're providing exactly that. And from the feedback we got from our customers, they don't want to use a new software because it generates different lighting and different color aspects.
Yep.
They want to use the software they're already using, Blender, V-Ray, Maxwell. We're accelerating whatever the users are using. That's the idea.
If I could ask a question. First, nice presentation. Very good at graphics. You made a very interesting comment. The animation market is a $134 billion market, but we're laser focused on certain customer segment. Who is not your customer in the animation segment?
I would say...
Who are you not a good service for, you think?
Building an animation or building a movie takes a lot of steps, and we're focusing only on rendering. We can't do anything about the modeling or the animation of the video or of the objects themselves. We can't do anything about the textures. So we're trying to fit ourselves and be focused on one step, which is the most computationally intensive. And as engineers, that's the only thing we can do. We're not artists.
Okay, so I'm almost there. You're enabling people to buy as many compute cycles as they want or need, right? But you're not providing the compute cycles. You're using Amazon for the compute cycles, right?
Yes.
and you're letting them use whoever software they want to use, but you're not selling them software. So what are your margins in this business? What's that look like? Because
I mentioned that we have like a 70% profit margin because
so they're paying. So I guess it's back to the where's your secret sauce question. What are they paying you for? Originally, I thought your margins were because you were providing the hardware, but you're not. So what are they? So they're paying you for the experience of organizing their rendering process?
they're paying for the chance to use massive compute power only when they need it.
Okay.
Only with what, sorry?
Only when they actually
need
demand it and need it.
Yeah, but that's the value proposition for any cloud service like Amazon, right? So my question is, what are you doing sitting between Amazon and that
Okay, let me rephrase that. They will tap into the rendering power only when they need it. And not anybody could just like fire up some machines on Amazon and start rendering. It's not that easy.
So I think all the questions are centered around what is it that you're doing sitting between the firing up and the running of the application? What is it that you're providing other than, I don't quite know what the other than is. That's exactly what I'm asking.
Exactly. Okay. Having the raw metal, okay, you need to configure the network, you need to configure the storage space, you need to make it being able to render anything. You have to install the renders, and make them work in harmony, okay, over a cloud so they can provide the service behind the website. This whole package is just like, is even bigger deal than just providing the metal. This is exactly what other, how should I say, rendering service providers are doing. So we're just providing.
Do you have to work very closely with the rendering software providers?
Exactly. We have partnered up with Soft in Germany, which builds the rendering management software. We have a pending partnership with Chaos Group, who builds V-Ray, the most prominent rendering software. And we have an experimental renderer in Spain, which is even faster than 112. So yeah.
What the other rendering farms do.
But they're not. But again, they're not on a faster, accelerated machines.
Well,
so we're bringing.
why aren't they moving to EC2 like you are? I mean, that's the confusing part. If you take a current state rendering farm and you move it to EC2, won't they have exactly what you have?
Well, first of all, that's the opportunity. They didn't yet. Okay. Second of all, they might just be waiting for their return on the investment because they paid a lot of money for their current machines, and I don't think they were just like tossed away. So. I don't exactly know why, but that's the opportunity for me here.
Mm-hmm. So all the rendering farms out there that are competitors have their own metal? Is that what you're saying?
Most of them. I know at least 2 whom are running on other cloud services like Green Button.
Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned 70% gross margins.
Yes.
Right? So somebody pays you $100, you keep 70 of it. Whom do you pay the 30 to?
Mostly Amazon. And the rest will be, how should I say, between licenses and other auxiliary services. Yeah. Okay.
If you just summarize your biggest costs, like what are your expenses?
I didn't get that.
What are your biggest costs? What do you pay and to whom?
Most of my costs are to run the service over Amazon. So yeah, most of my costs to Amazon. Any more questions?